I just bought myself the cheapest Mazda.
Okay, hit it.
CX-5 I could possibly find. Now the question, will it start again after being delivered? Oh! Just a few. We will dive into that later on. So, let's see the damage this Mazda has. The cool thing about this Mazda is actually that, let me show you, the other side is like pristine. No damage, only the tail light over there has some damage. So, but for the rest, this side seems quite okay actually. This Mazda actually is from 2014. So right now it's 11 years old, but they're still highly priced SUVs. Lots of people like them. This one is a petrol Mazda CX-5 2 liters with 165 horsepower, which makes them quite fast actually for an SUV, for a standard family car, eh? We're talking about. Good thing about this one, it's not ordinary white. It's actually the snowflake pearl white, is what Mazda calls them. I personally, next to the Mazda red, which is the saw red, I really like this kind of white, which I can show you. So you can see the glitter in it, especially in the sun, which doesn't make it like the ordinary white color, which is sometimes a bit boring. It does make it harder to find spare parts for in the same color, so we have to see about that. We've had it outside here in the sun. It starts. I'm going to move it in my garage. This already got your attention. Subscribe, like this video, and well, stay tuned. That wheel made some terrible noises. Alright, I want to introduce you my dad, Charlo. Very knowledge about, well, cars and etc. It's not his actual job now to be a mechanic, but well, neither is mine. So, well, we're going to have a rough start and have a look at what's damaged and screw off things to inspect it any further. So, well, let's go. What do you think?
I'm first gonna open the bonnet.
Alright.
Well, okay, close it again. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Yeah.
Well. Oh yeah. So there's also some damage there.
Yeah.
It's in the strut tower.
This is exactly why a lot of insurance companies write cars off, because they are just economically not worthy to repair.
Let's start at the wheel with the wheel and the front suspension. See what's all happened there. What's broken, what's not. It's more
I
what's
think
broken.
it's more broken than what's not.
Oh my god.
All right.
It is bent. A lot. I think you will see.
The
if
anti-roll
you
bar
take
seems...
this.
This one, anti-roll bar seems straight still.
That's straight, yeah.
Only this link arm is bent.
Yeah, but that's because this one's all out
Oh
of
yeah,
out
so
of
it took
position.
it off.
Yeah. It's all out of position. I think when you look, how's the other wheel? Is the steering wheel straight or not?
Yeah. Yeah, the steering.
Yeah, that's straight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still quite straight. But you can see it here, up here also.
Yeah.
It's completely out of order.
Yeah, it's out of order. But I think when you release this one, this top bolt, and you bend it out, you will see that the complete thing will come back in this original position, because it's bent in. The steering wheel is pushing it out on this side.
Yeah.
And in on this side. That's why it's looking so bended.
And this one is bent.
But that's
maybe
maybe only the rubber, but that's not so exciting.
all right.
They're all loose parts. We can have a look.
Let's take it off.
Only these camber bolts were completely rusted together. So we had to come up with our 2-meter garden pole, which actually normally goes into the ground, and place it over the socket wrench. With the socket wrench, we eventually managed to get some movement in it and, well, release the camber bolts from the rusty nut, and actually being able with the impact drill to, well, get them completely out of place and remove them from the wheel hub.
So, we actually got a suspension off from the wheel hub. It actually surprisingly doesn't look that bad. Yeah, of course, the this one is slightly bent.
Only a bit.
But the rest of it doesn't seem that bad actually so far. So I'm going to get the rest off and we'll see. Alright, let's take the fender off, or at least try to.
Yeah.
The fender is held up by 5 bolts and a cover with some normal plastic clips. First I take off the bolts, and, well, while I'm at it, I'm also taking off the bolts that are fixing the headlight in. My dad here is removing these pesky little plastic clippers. I'm taking off the rest of the bolts, and eventually we managed to wriggle it off, because of course it was completely stuck in frame. We had to wiggle it out and pull hard.
Shall I get the body filler?
The wing, there's a rubber foam piece which avoids vibrations, I think. I don't know.
Here, this is where the damage starts.
We start removing the headlight. It's only 3 bolt, so that's an easy one. But the electrical connections, they're so stuck in these headlights. So after we finally had them removed, we could see the damage. That's going to be a pricey one. We continued with removing this from what we thought actually is the TPMS sensor. If I'm wrong, correct me please. It's really stuck again.
Come on, you naughty boy.
You nitty boy. Is it endless? Oh.
It's 1 meter long.
You might be questioning why we are taking this thing off that's so stuck. Well, I looked around quite a lot and saw that most of these front
it's
suspension
off.
springs are solved without this sensor, and getting this off without having it on the car is going to be a nightmare. Final nut for this front shock absorber, and well, we could finally take it out.
Hooray!
He's got a broken leg.
Front side, quite far already actually. Expected quite a lot of damage. Going to write it down at the end. But me and my dad going to have a look at the back side. Just to inspect, like, yeah, what do we have on the back actually. So if we have a look, it's quite clear we have an issue.
I always told you, don't look back.
From what
I think it's a little bit like the front side. It's not smashed into each other. It's because you can all see the rubber here from the tire from the truck. It's just pushed in.
the door.
Don't talk about the door. We forget the door.
Maybe we can put it straight.
No, forget about the door. It's a bit.
We can see something hit it that was blue. So that's
Yeah, a
good.
blue truck. Yeah.
Yeah, and here in the front, it's quite a. Maybe it's only the outer structure.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. On
Maybe.
top.
Yeah.
On the bottom, the
On
inner
the bottom,
structure.
the inner structure is gone. But it's usually made up out of different pieces from what you see with a lot of these new cars. So it can be 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces, which they weld together eventually, and that forms one.
Yeah.
But you can only see that if you take out the outer structure. If you look close here, because eventually you need to, well, make a decision up to where are you going to cut. Are you going to take the whole side off? You have to decide, and also the easiest side. So here, there's like a small dent, maybe you can see in the light. So what we think is we cut it here, so we can work the panel out like that. And we need to decide something here. So probably the cuts are going to be here, here, roughly, and most likely down here. Because as you can see, this is also slightly bent, and most likely you will never be able to shut the door because this hinge is probably moved in, out. It will be really problematic to find out. So probably around the lower door, which they usually do with these kind of damages.
I was way too curious, so I wanted to have a cut through the outer shell so we could have a look on the inside.
Well, let's have a look. So as you can see with the hole, this is the whole inner structure, which I just missed, which is good. But most likely we already had to replace that. But here you can see it, yeah, it's quite bent in. We actually found some more damage, unexpectedly. Mainly to the strut tower. So we thought it was only this small dent in here, but we were taking things off, and if you take things off, it usually can get worse. So the whole strut tower actually moved in slightly this way. It's not that much, but enough to bend this whole top plate. And you can see it because the nut moved a bit. And the same for here. They moved slightly. Over here, this one hasn't moved. So, yeah, what are we going to do about that next? We've done a lot. Yeah, time for the next episode. where we're going to see how we're going to solve this. And well, the back side we still have to do, of course, but it's going to be more episodes. So for now, stay tuned, subscribe, like this video, and well, goodbye.
Till next time.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.